The Studio is the brand new Apple TV Plus original series that just wrapped up its 10 episodes this past week. The show is exclusively on Apple TV Plus. The film is written and directed by the directing team of Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen. It is the first time that they are really directing since 2013's This Is the End. And in this TV show, I'm trying to make sure this is the first time they've directed since This Is the End, and it is. In this show, Seth Rogen doesn't just write and direct, he also stars in the show as Matt Remick, the new studio head of Continental Studios, who got a pass down in by the person who runs Continental Studios, of Griffin Mill, played by Bryan Cranston. In order to, they fired Patty Lee, played by Catherine O'Hara. A part of this team of running this studio is Sal Saperstein, played by Ike Barinholtz, Quinn Hackett, played by Chase Sue Wonders, and Maya Mason, played by Catherine Hahn. And each episode tackles something different, some challenges, the realizations of what it's like to run a movie studio, how studio heads interact with media, actors, writers, directors, movie theater chains. All of those take place, and award shows all take place in this show. The show is 10 episodes. As I said, the shortest episode is 23 minutes, which is the finale. The longest episode is the first episode, which is 44 minutes. My name is Max Berg. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new TV show review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Zinneberg, talking about The Studio on Apple TV Plus. What are your thoughts on the show? Let me know down in the comments section down below. Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? Are you excited for season 2? Do you think we should have more TV shows like this? Let me know. I respond to all comments. Also, guys, if you're new to Max Talks Movies, I'm Max Zinneberg. Please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do basically every single day TV and movie reviews. I do every single Monday. I do a box office breakdown show, movie franchise rankings, and out-of-theater reactions. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. The most important part about supporting a YouTube creator is to hit that thumbs up button, help support the channel. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. I am a massive Seth Rogen fan. I basically grew up with the Seth Rogen era of comedy films, and obviously he's blended that into a lot of TV shows now that I cover, including the Sausage Party Show, Invincible, and Platonic. And I basically cover everything that Seth Rogen usually is involved in, especially on camera. And Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen have been this comedic writing and directing duo and producing duo my entire life. Rogen, and This Is the End. Sorry, this is the first time they've directed since The Interview, and This Is the End. I forgot they also directed The Interview. But this idea of a show, they broke the fourth wall with This Is the End from the actor's perspective, but it's very over the top in a zombie apocalypse, an apocalypse-like situation. This is a real life, trying to take over a real movie studio, and these experiences and the trailer. All the cameos from the trailers got me excited. Don't worry, I'm not going to spoil really any of the major cameos in the show. I'm only going to talk about people who reoccur throughout the show here. And overall, guys, let's get into my review. So far in 2025, I'm recording this on May 28th, 2025. The Studio for me is the best show, at least my favorite show of 2025, and will easily go down once the year is over as one of the best shows of 2025. This is easily the best thing from a writing and acting thing that Seth Rogen has done in a very long time. I love Seth Rogen. As I said, there's many things that I like that he has obviously written. If that is Superbad, for example, Sausage Party, The Interview, This Is the End, Pineapple Express, Superbad. He's one of the great comedic writers, but for me, and also wrote the screenplay for the last Ninja Turtles movie. But from a comedic perspective, really hasn't written anything since Neighbors 2. And I was really excited for him to tackle some things here. And as someone who covers movie news and follows people who follows movie news, and yes, this is clearly where I want to fit into the movie space. I never wanted to be an actor or a director or a writer. I just love watching movies, but also I love understanding how movies made. I might not be a person who maybe wants to, being a producer maybe would be the at all thing that would interest me, and talking to creators and making movies like that. But I'm someone who just loves movies, watching movies, but I'm also fascinated in the way movies are made. And the sort of perspective we never get, of course, are the people who run the studios. Because when movies win awards or when movies are made, not many people, really none of the average moviegoers even think for a second where the movie is from. Outside of maybe like Disney Film as a studio, for the most part, the average moviegoer who's not in the know-how like me don't understand the studios, what decisions they make on films and things of that nature. But obviously, it would be really tough to get something like this made because it's not that the show is making fun at all of studio heads. Yes, there's some over the top situations. What is really appalling about this show on a great note is how authentic and real this is, because there are so many situations. Each episode is kind of its own situation. One episode is a Golden Globes episode. One episode is breaking down how to cast a particular project that they're casting. Another one is when a reel goes missing for a movie. Another one is finding like a director's note. They give a lot of different situations, but they all feel real. Even if I know people in the movie business, both in front of the camera and behind the camera in the movie business. And even from snippets of things I've learned from them, a lot of this does feel very real. And then listening to Seth Rogen, a lot of the actors in interviews saying that they've been reached out to by studio heads saying how accurate. Even Seth Rogen said in an interview that 4 or 5 different studio heads called him saying, "Did you portray me in the show?" That's how accurate this is. Now, while this is accurate, this show is hilarious. Every episode is very funny. Yes, of course, it's a TV show. Some episodes are better than other episodes. For me, the standout episodes, right away, the first episode is fantastic. Again, there's not really a bad episode in here, but my favorites were episodes 1, 8, and really the last 3. 1 and the last 3 episodes are phenomenal in my opinion. And but again, each of the episodes are really, really good. And the reason why is that not just that the situations very real and funny, you really can't believe that actual people act like that. The way that studios talk to actors, the way that actors have to act around studio heads, around studio heads have to talk to directors and filmmakers and writers and producers and assistants and all these different things. It's all very complex, but also very funny at the same time. And when things have to get serious, they obviously get serious. But this is a very funny show. And the cast here assembled is top notch. Now, Seth Rogen obviously does a great job writing the show. The show also, before I get into the cast too, a lot of the scenes are one takes and they're shot very frantically, like one takes, like you're kind of in the day of a life of a studio head. I love the way the show is shot. Sometimes it can be frantic, just long one takes. Really elevates the show. The filmmaking on display is really amazing here. But the acting is also top notch. Seth Rogen is excellent here. One of his best performances in years. Because yes, he's playing a studio head who loves movies. But when you are a studio head, you have to make cutthroat decisions, talking to your idols, talking to people you admire and telling them no for a lot of the time. If that's no to a script, if it's telling them a director's note, if that's no to whatever it is. Obviously, there's some yeses in there, but you have to make big, big decisions and you can't get your love of movie making involved. Studio heads have their roles, just like directors, actors, production designers, composers, things of that nature. And it's a really perfect casting with Rogen being the actual lead of the show because he actually feels like a genuine human being who does love movies, who's now thrown into running a studio. And the excitement that brings at first, and then when the job happens, the realization of what the actual job is as well. Ike Barinholtz is a standout. He steals whatever scene that he is in. He plays he works for the Continental, but he's also Matt's number one friend. And he is hilarious, especially in the Golden Globes episode. Chase Sue Wonders has been someone I've been watching for a very long time now. I've been trying to tell people about her. She's excellent here. Kathryn Hahn, another scene stealer here. She plays someone who runs the advertising for the studio. She's really good. Bryan Cranston is hilarious. The cameos, there are major cameos from some of the most famous actors in the world in basically every single episode. And I don't want to even hint at spoilers because some of them have been spoiled in trailers, but I'm not even going to get into any of the cameos here because a lot of them are really phenomenal. I don't want to spoil something that you guys don't already know, but the actual actors and directors who cameo do play themselves, and it's very funny. It is definitely at times inside baseball, but even if you're not someone who knows a lot about Hollywood, it's actually going to be really educational to learn sometimes how movie making works. And this shows a lot of the way people sometimes badly act to get a movie made, but also it's a cutthroat business and things have to be done. But I said the show is really funny, very topical. If it's about race discussions at times, especially with casting and what is racist, what's not racist, what makes a studio feel like it's racist, like that's a whole episode. Fascinating episode, and it feels real because you could really see people having those conversations. The episodes are basically around 25 to 30 minutes every week, and they're very fastly paced, and it is a breeze of a show. It's also just extremely well made. They're on actual lots, studio lots and sets and things of that nature in Hollywood. So overall, this is a really phenomenal show. You do care about the cast of characters. Some are over the top more than others. The dynamics are great, but they feel like real people who could be running a studio and how studio heads actually act. As someone who loves Hollywood and loves movies, this show is really made for me. So overall, I'm going to give the studio on Apple TV Plus a 4.5 out of 5, a 96%. What are your thoughts on the studio? Let me know in the comment section, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.